Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for episode 1 of Entanglement, our Expanse RPG campaign. We have a brotastic adventure in space for you today, with a crew of bros. That's the tagline for the show. Welcome back. It is Thursday. This is the newest show here on unMadeGaming. If you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by going down the link below to our Patreon. The second best way is subscribing here on Twitch with your Twitch Prime, your Twitch, whatever the hell. We're trying to hit 20 subs this month. And last but not least, on the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills up, Gnome gets to do whatever the hell he wants to us. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to the wonderful, beautiful, amazing faces you see here before you. That being said, I'm done chilling. Let me turn things over to Gnome to bring us into space. Gnome, take it away.
You did that so fast.
That's just how I talk.
I don't feel prepared. Hi, what's up, everybody? We are playing The Expanse, so I'm just going to read for you the things straight out of the fucking book so you can get on the same page that we are going to be on. So welcome to the future and the next stage of human history. Spreading out into the solar system towards the distant stars. Welcome to the Expanse. In the 23rd century, humanity has long since left the cradle of Earth to colonize the solar system. Now, an independent Mars vies with old Earth for political power and influence, while the settled asteroid belt and the moon systems of Jupiter and Saturn supply the inner planets with the resources they so desperately need. The people of the belt and the outer planets, known as the Belters, labor and chafe under the rule of the Inners, and unbeknownst to humanity, history is taking a most unexpected turn. We'll be exploring a moment when people in the right place, at the right time, willing to do the right thing, can potentially change the course of history and the future of humanity. So that's The Expanse. And
No.
Yeah.
I know you just introed The Expanse, and I know we talked
Yeah.
about this before, but I feel like now's a great time to intro what the corruption bar does in this game, because we just hit it.
Oh, shit. Well, podcast,
So-
friends. Thank you.
So it works a
Okay.
little different in this game. Gnome, please.
It is going to be a little different in this game because the game kind of comes pre-built with its own corruption bar. So when you do fill that bar, I'm going to use it in two ways. The first way is the typical way is I get fucking power to fuck you up. And I like that. It's space. Shit's dark out here.
I'd like
and
to
deadly.
clarify that Gnome meant you as in us and not you as the audience.
Yes,
Because
yes,
that's a
just-
little fucked up.
You feel that corruption bar, those goes in the
I'm gonna
chat
come
and start slinging.
Is this an appropriate time for a hands check?
Let's get a hand check in chat. H is in chat if you're okay with that.
Did you say H is in chat? They don't even
Oh, I'm
know.
on it. I got my preemptive H in there.
I love it so much. We're not even going to start the game.
Give me
That's
them
what's gonna-
hands.
This is it. It's just, it's us. So there's something cool in this game called a churn. This is the churn tracker. Every time that the players are successful and do really cool and really good things, we get to add a point to the churn tracker. And if you fill up that corruption bar, we just straight up add 5 points to that every time. And once we hit a certain number on the churn tracker scale, there's events that can happen in the game. Whether they impact the characters directly or immediately, may be left to seen. However, it's certainly going to be something that is challenging and potentially world destroying. So there's that. Always fun. So that's how we're going to kind of coexist with the corruption bar and the churn tracker here.
I don't think your definition of fun is the same as mine.
No?
No.
Definitely the same as mine.
You
so I
said
don't know what
it's-
your
I'm just
definition of fun
comfortable.
is.
I'm just
Nah, I'm
uncomfortable hearing the word churn so much. I don't know why. That's hit my ears the same way moist does. I don't like it.
Yeah,
You-
I kind of
you
felt
said-
like, why churn?
You said end of the world and then fun for everyone, and I feel like I disagree with you on several points there. Mostly the two you said. So, just so we're clear.
Yeah, and end of world. It's
Yeah.
it's fine. It's great.
And it's like it's noir. It's like the famous soap opera As the World Churns is the.
Oh, gross.
No.
Ugh.
No.
Oh,
no.
see, it's just
You're
classical.
welcome.
You need to just get over it. Is all
And
it
you
is.
can't ooh-woo the
Wow.
end of the world.
You can't. That's like every anime noir. Everyone ooh-woos the end of the world.
Challenge accepted.
You filthy weed.
Challenge accepted.
All right, buddy.
Well, this is weird. Wow, again, remember how if you are part of Unmade Gaming's Patreon and you got to see our session 0, where I'm going to quote myself here and say, man, I'm so excited to play a dark, grim, deadly space game.
And
Yeah,
now
we
we're
have session
here.
0.
Shake weights.
Now we're churning.
It's just a single churny space shake
like-
weight. That's our entire.
No. All right, we're gonna start this fucking game. Put yourselves on goddamn fucking mute.
It's
Let's
like
go.
that. It's like that famous
Let's blow
song,
some shit the
"Down,
fuck up."
down, down in a churning ring of fire." Right? It's the same kind of principle.
I am gonna kill your character first.
You're not.
Yeah, you did say it was gonna be fun.
All right, friends. I don't know if this will come through clearly or not, but we're going to actually start the fucking game. However, we're not going to start with you. In fact, we're going to start with a camera. And this camera is going to fade into a scene. In a second, because I can't hear that thing that I need to hear. There we go. Perfect. Nailed it. It's a good start. Now let's start. A woman stands alone on a balcony. Her form, a black silhouette against the vibrant green of the trees before her. We hear the song of birds and see leaves shifting as a gentle breeze sweeps through. Her fingers, decorated with jewels, are furled around the banister. She's waiting, and we wait with her. Her heart calmly beats as she stands there, the encroaching footsteps from behind seemingly no cause for worry. A figure now stands only a few feet from the woman, their visage shrouded by the dim lighting of the room, and we hear a voice. It never should have been this way. And the woman responds, still calm. We all make choices. You are making yours. And the figure, their voice, shaky, uncertain, says, you made this choice for me. And the woman replies, no, this is your decision, and yours alone. When this is over, I hope you will understand the choices that I made. All those lives wasted. We see the figure raise their arm, a weapon now pointing at the woman. You don't deserve such mercy. And neither do you. The woman drops to the ground. A pool of blood seeping from the wound in her head. Long, dark hair covers her face, but we see her eyes, soft and brown and lifeless, staring through the glass of the balcony wall towards the manufactured courtyard, where the birds sing and the trees sway in a gentle breeze. The camera shifts, and we are going to shift gears to a ship in the vastness of space, hurtling from Mars towards Ceres, a station known to house about 6 million people, with 1 million more passing in and out of its borders on the outer ring of the solar system. And inside the ship, it's it's a known civilian transportation shuttle carrying about 100 passengers. There are bunkers and cabins for people to sleep. For this trip is about 1.3-ish astronomical units away as far as distance goes, which to everybody else will know it'll take about 140 hours worth of transport time, traveling at 0.3 Gs, which is a pretty slow, steady, and relatively safe method of traveling, especially with civilians. On board this vessel is a large cargo hold containing suitcases, some trade goods, and there is a small carrier port as well that houses a few shuttles of its own, small, very personal vehicles for some of the people who are able to afford to have their vessels transported in this way. And we're going to shift and take a look into one of the passenger cabins. Somewhat crowded, a little noisy. You kind of get the feeling that it's more lower class cabin area. And we're going to take a look and see Rex Aaron.
Oh, that's me. I'm first.
That's you. You are first. What are you up to? What are you doing in this cabin? And more importantly, what do you look like?
What time of space is it? I don't know how to ask that question. What I've never had to ask that question in space before. We've never concerned ourselves with time. Yeah, like what time is it in space?
It'd be about afternoon, evening, maybe like 4 p.m.-ish.
Okay, right. So this is like
going on a
this is
digitized
like yeah.
clock.
So this is like post military, like post guard shift, right? This kind of time.
Yeah.
So I think Rex would be like getting off shift, and he would be in his smallish quarters, right? He is not here for any kind of scientific research or any kind of illustrious event or anything. He is security on this, and he's not even good security. He's like low rent security. Can you shoot? Are you pretty sure you won't kill any good guys, quote unquote? Good enough. Hop on. So he is in, like, if you look at the Titanic, he's down where Jack was, right? So he has like a small, probably like 5x5 room. It's not big. It's enough room for a bunk, a light that's part of the wall, and like a small like side table. So I think he kind of like walks in and just sits down on the bed and sort of like unslings the rifle and like hangs it on like the coat rack on the thing. He is in what makes for the ship's uniform, which is kind of like a ragtag black, like cargo-ish kind of pants, as well as the similar kind of like military shirt with like cargo pockets on the right and left shoulders. And whatever the shirt, whatever the crew's or the ship's name is embroidered on the back of the shirt. And he has like sandy blondish brown hair cut in that same kind of military style, although he has several tattoos that are on the side of his shaven head, and his most prized one is the OPA symbol tattooed on his neck that he wears proudly as a member of the belt. And he just sort of like slumps down onto his bed and like takes a second to relax, having to patrol this large ship on duty, and just kind of like waits a second, gets a few breaths out, and then starts sliding through whatever's on the vid screen on the wall.
Perfect. You hear a knock on your cabin door.
Who is it?
It's me, darling. And door's gonna open.
Yep.
And you see kind of a heavy-set man, probably 6'2", completely bald. He's got OPA tattoos all over him. His hands are just scarred and worn out from the work that he's done throughout his life. He's wearing a little more established garb in comparison to other OPA members of the OPA, and to kind of set himself apart, he's your boss right now. This is the diplomat, a representative, or at least somebody who had a loud enough voice that was requested to be heard over on Ceres. You are familiar that there is a treaty that is being renegotiated regarding mining practices. So representatives from Mars, Earth, and a couple from the belt, the different regions of the belt, are all invited to attend, as this impacts everyone. And you're here for hire, under Darling. And he looks over to you and just goes, "Hey, everything's good here. Nothing weird."
Is this a question or is this a statement?
Stupid, it's a question.
No, everything is fine.
Great.
He reaches over and like hooks the chair that's like under the little side table and like slides it out and like motions to like sit if he wants to sit.
He kind of looks down at the chair and then looks back at you. Nah. Just keep your eyes peeled, okay?
Is there something I should be looking out for, or is this just a general?
Maybe just the general, but when he kind of like does one of those, over his shoulder, kind of takes a look back. I've been hearing some whispers that there might be some trouble aboard here. Maybe a saboteur or two. So just keep your eyes open, eh?
Okay.
Nah,
I'll let you know if I see anything.
good. More importantly, keep me alive. That's what I'm paying you for.
Yeah.
Great.
You'll get
He's
there in
kinda
one
like-
piece.
He just ignores that, hits the button of the door, and just kind of waddles away from you.
I think Rex like
Eh.
mutters to himself about like saboteurs and what that could mean. Now he's gonna learn the ship.
And we're gonna shift the camera on over to Kasha. Or Kosh, just Kosh.
Kashma. There's an M in
Kashma.
there.
Kashma, where are you at? What are you doing? What do you look like?
So I'm kind of so when you first look at Kashma, you first look at me, you can see that that at one point I really did take care of my physique, that was built and kind of tall, about 6 feet, a little bit taller than that, long, big bushy beard, but kind of like pretty long and really short hair. Like it looks like I take the time to buzz it, but there's a lot of time in between when I cut my hair that so you kind of see like scraggly different parts. It's not uniform, but you can tell that when it's cut, it's kind of a small buzz cut. It's got dark skin and like a mole on his cheek. But yeah, his physique's pretty built, but you can tell that he's kept his frame. But I'm sorry, I keep switching from he and I, but I've kept my frame, but I've gotten pretty soft. Right now I'm wearing just some jeans and a shirt and a crisp blue jacket, a long sleeve jacket. And I'm just carrying like a long bag with some things in it. That's what I look like. And right now, I didn't spend a lot of money to get my own room or anything. So probably just looking for a shared room or a place to just wait out the trip. Not really talking to anybody. Actually not talking to anybody at all. Trying not to make eye contact with anybody. Just trying to keep my tall figure kind of out of people's way.
So you're probably then in the like a commons area where folks who could not afford to have their own private cabins or even just a bed, there's a space that's almost kind of like a waiting room, right? There's just a bunch of chairs that are kind of posted up along the walls, kind of also a couple rows within the center of the room, and it's relatively full. This is a full flight, and it's noisy because you have families that are talking to each other. You have just all sorts of people just talking to each other. But a ball comes rolling up to you and just kind of like hits at your feet. And these two children kind of come giggling, walking up to you. And it's like, so sorry, can we have that back?
Yeah, hold on. And I reach down, just grab it with one of my hands and hand it over to him. Yeah, here you go.
And the slightly taller child kind of reaches out and takes it and says, "Oh, thanks, mister." And the younger one, who is wearing kind of a similar colored jacket as you, kind of almost like sheepishly like looks at you and just kind of is like, "I like your jacket. It's like
Thanks.
mine."
Not really, but thanks, kid.
And you hear like a woman's voice kind of off in the background. Jor, Aster, get back over here. And like the two kids kind of look over to you and just kind of like wave and run back over to their mother and continue playing with their ball together there, making noise like children tend to do. And there's a couple of other people who are sitting kind of around you, also not really paying attention.
A gnome. Did
Yeah,
those kids just go back to their mom, or was there a mother and a father there?
Just a mother.
I'll stare at the mother and the kids for a little bit longer than I expected to.
Okay. You know what? How about a roll? Let's roll. Let's do a roll. I'm curious.
What kind of roll?
I don't fucking know. Why did I ask that?
First roll of the game.
First roll of the game. How about let's do roll me a perception.
Okay. Don't know what that means, but there you go.
let me close this up so I can actually see. Wow, that's a roll.
That's bad.
That's a roll.
That's a bad roll.
You did get doubles though.
You did.
Oh my god, you murdered that family?
So,
Whoops.
real quick. Rules check. Da-da-da. How this game works is we only roll D6s, which is great. Everybody rolls a 3D6. Two of those die are just regular, normal fucking die. But that third die, the third number, is known as the drama die. And that can be... Well, there's a lot of stuff that can happen with the drama die. But in this case, your total was a 5, which is not good enough to beat a challenge of just a basic 10. So you don't notice, but we, as the audience, notices that the mother sees you kind of staring and just doesn't offer a look, but is just noting. She's aware of the length that you stare. However, there are a couple people nearby you. One of them has got tattoos all over him. He's got a mohawk. It's got a couple burns on his face, and there's a duffel bag that's kind of under his feet. He's tall, he's thin, very wiry, and his leg is just kind of bouncing as if he's incredibly irritated. And then a couple maybe empty seats away, there is another an elderly woman who just keeps coughing, keeps sniffling, as if she's sick. And the wiry man kind of looks over to her and just like, "Can you shut up, man?" And just like gets up and starts yelling at this woman.
That was like right next to me, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go sit in a seat.
Okay. And the woman just kind of like, I'm sorry. It's chilly in here. And he's like, I don't fucking care. Just go sit fucking somewhere else, all right? You're going to get everybody else sick. And once he kind of says his piece.
Why don't you come over here and sit with me?
Did you say that to the woman?
To the woman, yeah.
To the woman? Okay. She kind of like, timidly, afraid of the man who's in her face screaming at her, looks over to you and goes, oh, okay. And like slowly, kind of pushes herself up onto the chair and will kind of make her way over to you. Although the the wiry man behind her is following and now notices that you're sitting in his seat. Hey, the fuck you doing? That's mine. I paid for that seat.
I wasn't aware we had to pay for these.
It's not a free ride, buddy. Up, let's go. Out.
Well, I didn't see your name on it.
Did you? And he's gonna kind of like look behind you. And there's like this, like in the seat is definitely a name, just like freshly carved in to like the plastic arm with like a, like a sharp edge of some sort. And it just says DAG. DAG.
Oh, this is yours?
My name's actually on it.
Yeah?
Fucking magic, huh?
Oh, yeah, hold on a second. I reach into his bag and I look for his knife, whatever he used to carve into it. And I go, oh, yeah, I can fix this. Hold on. And I start scraping it off.
Hey, man, he's gonna grab you by the collar. Don't fucking go into my shit.
You know what? Fuck you. And I grab him. I was like, this isn't your fucking room. This isn't your fucking ship. And you don't own anybody. So get the fuck off of me. And I try to push him off.
Roll me intimidate. What would intimidate be?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's bad. Is it communication?
Are you sure it's bad?
Communication's probably right there.
Yeah, I think communication would probably be the best
Here we go.
fit for that.
Here we go.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool,
Nailed it.
Cool. Perfect with that awesome math. 5, 6, 7, 4, 6.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Math.
Drama diced again, though. Just nailing it with the snake eyes here.
Oh, so good here. So good.
Oh wait, is it any of them are doubles? Even the drama dice can be a double?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yep.
Fuck, wow. You're making these people have a bad day.
But you have to be successful in order to activate your stunts.
That's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately,
That's
even
a
at a
bad day.
base difficulty of 10, not good enough today. At least not now. Get all these bad rolls out. You're going to need the good ones later, right?
You're welcome, y'all.
Or you might need it now because does Kosh look intimidating?
I mean, he's a tall. I'm a tall man, and I am built, but not defined. Kind of just soft, like I don't know how to explain it more than that. But
you got muscle underneath that doughiness.
Little extra cushion,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. This punk, which is exactly what he is, right? He's a punk. He's an OPA punk, and he just kind of looks at you like you're chopped liver, and he, so he's got you by the collar. You kind of got him back. He's gonna just take you and try to throw you down to the ground. You're touching his shit, and he doesn't like it. So, I have to roll. Right?
That probably makes sense, no?
I don't know, Space Daddy.
I don't know Space Daddy either, right?
It's
Shit.
Space Poppy.
How do you get rolls like
Space
that?
Poppy.
How do you do that? That's That's not high, right? But that looks high for me for what I've been rolling.
Well, hang on. I got to add my modifier real quick. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Which is that. So that's a 12. So what is your defense?
11.
Okay. So with my 12, I roll high. So he does. He skillfully, right? You might be physically a bigger dude. And he's this little lanky kind of scrawny guy, but he's able to take you by the collar. He kind of sweeps his leg behind your foot and pulls and just slams you to the ground. And for good measure, he's going to give you a little kick. Nice little love tap. Nothing to cause any damage. But you're on the ground. And he pulls his knife from your hand. And he goes, "This is my fucking seat, dude. Go fucking sit somewhere else."
Oh, fuck you anyways.
Yeah, fuck you too.
I grab my shit and I walk away.
Okay. As you're walking away, again, camera shifts. And we're going to go to the upper levels of the ship, where we find our diplomat of Earth, Adrian Cox. Adrian, who are you? What do you look like? What are you doing in your well-decored chamber?
All right. Well, Adrian is a little bit of an eccentric politician. He's got his silver hair tied in a ponytail. He's got one blue, one brown eye, and he's got black lipstick on right now, and he's wearing a very fine silk shirt, fine black silk shirt, and a very fine black silk pair of pants, and he's got loafers on, and he's sitting at his desk, and he's writing a speech that he's going to deliver to the Belters about making sure that their conditions are improved. And he's also got to deliver a speech to the Dusters about how we're going to get the terraforming project going. All the things that a diplomat from Earth has to say to make sure that the other lovely people that we share this universe with are happy. So he's just sitting there writing, talking to himself a little bit.
And you hear the sound of a chime going off, and the screen by the door turns on, and we can see who's on the other side. And there is a short, stout woman who has her own kind of like data pad up and is kind of just, typing away on it. Mr. Cox?
I presume that it is important if you're going to interrupt me while I'm writing.
Oh, yes, of course. I am so sorry. We're wanting to know how long your speech is going to be.
Well,
do you need the full 45 minutes, or can I shuffle it?
Why don't we compromise, and I will shoot for 35 minutes and then take 60 as I tend to.
You make my job so hard, Mr. Cox. And she's just kind of like frantically like trying to shift around like everybody's schedule. Like, okay, well, now I got to trim off a couple minutes here. I got to trim off a couple more minutes here. And she's just flustered, but has worked with you in the past. Is very understanding of your words. Is there anything that I can provide for you now, Mr. Cox?
I seem to have run a little low on my scotch, so if we can have another bottle brought up, that would be lovely.
Oh, of course, right away. We'll make sure that you get that. Anything else? Food? Everything is fine?
How was your lunch today? Did you eat well?
Oh, my lunch?
Yes, your lunch.
Oh, it was fine. It was perfectly normal.
Well,
fulfilling, sustaining.
What I would ask is that I would have you make sure that your dinner is much better than fine. Go spoil yourself a little bit, eh?
Go spoil self. Ah, understood, Mr. Cox. Anything you need, Mr. Cox.
That will be all for today. And you can call me Adrian. I keep telling you that. You know I'm too immature to hear my last name over and over again before I start to giggle.
Oh, but Mr. Cox.
See, there it is.
And she's just blushing, right? Like she's got red hair and it's braided and pulled back, and her cheeks are as red as the hair. And she prim proper once more. I'll make sure that your scotch is brought up to you right away, Miss Adrian.
Okay. And I will expect a report back on your dinner to make sure that it was fantastic, not okay or fine. You work for me. You must enjoy life, yeah?
Understood. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Thank you.
She kind of she'll push the button and the screen will go black again, and you can kind of hear her little.
What did you say her name was again? Because I was a dick.
I didn't give her name. So you're good. You're fine.
Okay, good.
You would know her though. Wow, chat. I love you. You would know her. This is Daisy Rosewood.
Daisy Rosewood.
Mm-hmm. Just another a person assigned to you, like an assistant from the consulate.
Okay. Well, back to my speech, and I'll try to keep it to 45 minutes. It will most likely be 55 because I just can't help myself.
That is the Adrian Cox way, isn't it? And we'll shift once more to our, would you guess it? Our fourth and final cast member of our Expanse game, Elios Villanueva. Who are you? What do you look like? What are you doing aboard this vessel?
So Eli is a beanpole, is the best way I can put it. He's tall, like 6'3", 6'4", lanky, and the way I describe it is he wears clothes like a coat rack. Like they're usually badly fitting, somewhat draped, and generally looks like he's been squeezed into something that isn't meant to fit him. And that's what he is right now. Like he's wearing what is essentially like kind of a styled after like a Martian jumpsuit. It's not really, and it's sort of pulling up at the wrists, kind of up his arm, like as if he like it was given to him by somebody who was like, you need to wear this, and he was like, all right. But he's got sort of sharp, angular features, not like it's not like chiseled per se, but it's kind of bony almost. But the thing that really sort of sticks out with Eli is that his hair is constantly changing colors. He looks like braided fiber optics kind of running through his hair, which is normally jet black, but there's sort of vibrant color changing streaks of color rotating through different colors seemingly at random. And for all intents and purposes, Eli is in a private cabin and looks, for all intents and purposes, like he is asleep. But he has, if you sort of enter the room and pay close attention, he has his terminal sort of sitting on the bed, like sort of the bedside stand, and he has almost like the rave gloves, the LED, like those LED rave gloves that you see that are like plexiglass with lights. He has one of those kind of clipped on as a heads-up display for his terminal that he's sort of like leaning back on his bed like that and sort of shuffling through.
Excellent. And in your private quarters, it's relatively quiet, calm. The outside world is uninterrupting for you. In fact, it's kind of nice. Maybe you just needed a moment to yourself, a moment to breathe. And you're able to work on your terminal, doing whatever it is that you needed to get done, or just something to pass the time. Again, you have 140 hours of this trip. However, As you are sifting through your terminal, everybody hears a noise, and lights go dim as the power of the vessel shuts off.
Shit.
For a moment, the emergency lights will finally kick in. Very soft yellow lights lighting the floor, lighting exit pathways. Power to your terminal cuts off unless it's supplied um, by an external battery. What
Yeah,
is it you do?
Eli sort of like takes the little display off, kind of looks around, puts the display on the terminal on the side, swings his legs out of the bed, gets up, sort of stretches, and goes, "Sid, I need you to walk me to what would it be? It would be operations, engineer. No, engineer. No, can't go poking around in their engine first without asking. That's rude, or so I've heard. Operations. That's where I need to go."
Okay.
Mhm.
And so who is Sid? Explain to us what Sid is.
Sid is Eli's sort of AI. It's sort of AI. And for those of you who don't watch The Expanse, the AI in The Expanse is more like extremely highly advanced voice recognition. It'll have conversations with you that would make Siri like explode. But uh, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now because we
Yep.
yeah.
No, it's a good way to establish a little bit of what Sid is and establish the level of AI known to the Expanse world. So perfect. And Sid follows your commands, pulling up the files that you need. No problems.
And Eli sort of looks, and Eli sort of has. You can sort of see if now if you're like if we're taking the camera and zooming in on his face as he's sort of looking around, you can sort of see lights and images flicker across his eye. Clearly, he has like upgraded like a contact lens or something to be some sort of like HD terminal over his like as an augmented relay, and looks around, and goes, "That is, of course, it's a lot of walking," and walks over to the door, tries to see if it works first to open. And if it doesn't, because the power is off, goes looking for a manual release.
Perfect. I'm not even going to have you roll for that. You would very much know that pushing the button or asking the door to open, it wouldn't do that. There's no power to it, and there is a normal emergency release. Usually it's a little low, towards the floor, off to the side. You're able to just slide the panel open and just pull the lever, and the door just kind of like releases, and it just slides off to the side.
Yeah. And as Eli walks out, it's just, "Sid, lock down my stuff," and then closes the door behind him.
Okay. And you go out into the hall, and there's already a couple people out in the hall at this point, kind of trying to understand what's going on. They're asking each other like, "Hey, what's happening? Is everything okay?" There hasn't been anything over the intercoms, nothing that is usually in an emergency, or if power were to be cut, there's at least some sort of notification sent to all passengers in the ship. However, there has been zero communication.
Okay. Eli walks through them as, I mean, not particularly like subtly, presuming because like in I assume what is like emergency, is it emergency like red lighting or like emergency backup like low light?
Red lighting.
Okay, yeah. So Eli is probably the most colorful fucking thing in this hallway at the moment. Now that I think about it.
Yep.
And so there is like there's no subtlety there at all. But he moves through. He like starts to navigate through the crowd in the direction of where like the ship's operations deck would be. Not looking like he's ignoring everyone, but is sort of keeping an ear out, listening to the rumors flying around and past him, and sort of collating data, as it were.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your perception.
Cool. Let me do that thing. and we're using hearing, so heyo. Okay.
Okay.
9, 4, 8, 13.
Great. So you, as you're kind of like walking through the hall and heading towards your destination, ears open, trying to figure out if anybody or anyone has any sort of information that just may not have been communicated properly. And as you're walking, there are two people kind of off to one side of the hallway corridor that will eventually like fork, and they're kind of whispering to each other as other passengers are just kind of like walking by. One of them has a duffel bag slung across their back, wearing dark colored clothing. The other, you can kind of almost see from the reflection of the emergency lights, just a little sheen of the end of a rifle tucked underneath, or at least attempting to be hidden underneath a leather jacket. You see like that tip just kind of like hanging out. So it's not so much that you hear something, but you've certainly seen something.
Okay. So Eli will walk up to. Well, we'll start to walk towards them, and then just be like, and on the way there is like, Sid, flag what I'm seeing, and send it to. I don't. No, I don't know where to send it to. Send it to an emergency channel or something. It's a ship. They have one.
Okay.
And then like starts to walk towards. Like takes like walks toward them, puts like his sight very like not briefly, but lingers on like the edge of what looks like the barrel of a rifle sticking out of someone's jacket, and then walks up to them like, excuse me, sorry, you all seem to not be panicking. Does anybody know what's going on?
The two figures both kind of look at you, take a quick second to kind of like size you up. OPA, one of them says.
No, just a belter.
Then get on your way.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there isn't really a way. Everything's off.
Why don't you go sit with all the other passengers? It's safer there.
Well,
That's okay.
they're screaming and I'm getting a migraine. So if you know a quieter place, I would prefer to do that.
And the guy kind of pulls out open like the leather jacket so you could see the rifle underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. I think you go be with them.
And Eli just smiles and goes, right, because nowhere with a gun is going to be quieter than a bunch of people. Have a good one.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
He kind of like closes his jacket back up.
Actually, before I go, do you know what the general survival rate of a ship that crashes this far out from known stations is?
The one guy with the gun is kind of like, so the question is that?
Well, I mean, if you're going to use a gun on a ship, well, armor plating, if you're going to have any, may protect from PDCs or probably not a Martian railgun, but it's definitely not designed to protect from the inside. And if you're going to be shooting up the inside of a ship that's already crippled, well, those things don't tend to go well. I'm not going to tell you what your business is, but it tends to end badly for everyone involved, not just the people who think they have a handle on the situation. Anyways, good day. And he starts to walk away.
As you say good day, everybody feels and hears boom as something blows up.
Yep.
The ship vibrates, but it's still quiet. There are no communications online.
Yep.
That's signaling to anybody what's going on. And the two men who you were conversing with kind of like jostle around a bit and look to each other and then look back at you and then kind of flip you off and start taking off down one of the hallways towards the bridge.
Eli just sort of like leans back after them, just kind of goes, "I'm glad things are going just the way you thought they were," and then walks back off towards the passengers.
What is everybody else doing now that they've heard this explosion? Power's down, no communications. Something went big, bang, boom.
I think when the power shut down, Rex did nothing, right? So he was like, that's not my problem.
Rex.
It's very much an engineering thing. That's not my job. My job is to shoot and or stop other people from shooting. And then he just sort of hung out until he heard the explosion. And then I assume there's some kind of like internal radio, like not ship radio, but like interpersonal radio, because he's a guard of some kind. So he would have grabbed whatever internal comms they have, and he would have called out, "Hey, what was that?"
Yeah, I don't know. Go fucking figure it out.
Is that the
That's Darling.
Darling, the heavy-set gentleman?
Yes.
Yeah. And he like kicks the little hatch open on the door, cranks the door open, takes a step out, reaches back inside, reslings the rifle like up and around him, and begins to head out whatever direction he thought that sound came from.
Okay. Kosh, Adrian, what are you two up to as all of this starts unfolding?
As soon as the power went out, he would have just gotten up from his speech writing, opened the door, and Daisy, are you around?
Daisy's like trying to like make her way back to you. She's got your scotch in one hand and she's got her data pad in the other, and she looks frantic. Oh, Mr. Cox, are you okay? She's trembling and like the ice is like clinking, in the glass.
I am fine. Come. Do me a favor, if you could pour two shots. Yes.
Of course, Mr. Cox. And
Okay.
she'll, trembling, go ahead and do as you ask.
I'm gonna take one of the shots and I'm gonna go for the cheers.
She'll reach down and take one.
Drink, relax.
She just downs it like immediately.
She
does not leave Earth. This is not a good time for her.
Oh, you're an Earther like me, eh?
Yes, of course, Mr. Cox.
I'm guessing this is first time you go to space, yeah?
Yes.
This scary, no?
A little bit. Just a little.
Well, this is either one of two things. I will be honest with you. This is either a technical malfunction, which is very deadly in its own right, or this could be a terrorist attack, which is also terrifying in its own right. Good news for you, however. This one of the safest spaces in the ship. So you'll be all right.
Oh. Little blessings. little blessings, right?
Little blessings.
And she
yeah?
pours more. She pours more. She hands you once. Takes another one down.
I see you getting an early start on the beautiful dinner. That is exactly what I like to see. At that point, I just imagine the boom going off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he goes, "Okay, so we've ruled out technical difficulties."
Great. Well, would you like me to get security? It'd be good. I'll get security. Just make sure that you're safe.
Security knows what their job is. They know that I am a very important person and that their lives and their jobs depend on keeping me alive. You leave that door. I don't know that you're safe. So why don't you stay, drink, and whatever shall come for us will come from that door, and we'll deal with it together.
Great. How's your speech? And I think like she's gonna start like kind of guiding you again to like the routine that she's done like probably 50 times already.
Yeah, he goes, it's 120 minutes. I don't know how that happened.
If her head couldn't explode now, it's certainly ready to. What's worse, a potential terrorist attack or a scheduling nightmare? Event planning
The
is
scheduling
the
nightmare.
worst.
It really is.
Yeah.
I've had clients like this, and I hate them.
Right? Fucking oof.
So as someone who actively blows things up in the military, it's scheduling nightmare.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for that droplet of wisdom.
Yeah, no
man.
problem.
Love it.
Facts.
Love it. Facts. All right. Well, gosh.
Yeah. So after my
up?
little kerfuffle, I actually managed. As after that, like I decided not to like really sit next to anyone, so I went over to like an empty wall and kind of just like threw my bag on it and slid down as like the lights went off, and my brain started kind of just going through different reasons as to like why that could have happened. And I start putting I'm sitting down like with my knees bent up in the air, and I go and kind of just like rest my arms on top of my knees like this. And when the explosion goes off, I start kind of freaking out and hyperventilating. And I start putting my hands in my head, like trying to cover my head, trying to like make a space for myself. And when I like kind of like look around and I see I see the woman and her children, and I swear I could have saw a Martian officer in full like uniform standing by her, but like when I blink it, he disappears and he's gone. And I'm kind of just like muttering to myself, no, I'm trying to get away from this, and I'm doing everything I possibly can to just keep myself calm, but it's not working. But I'd imagine people are too like occupied with what's going on to see Kosh there on the floor, kind of just holding himself and trying to make himself small.
So there are some people who are obviously concerned. They're kind of up if they were in groups, whether it be business related or family related. They're kind of like keeping to themselves. Some of them standing up, some of them pacing, trying to figure out what's going on. A couple actually just leave the cabin to try to go find information, see what's going on. Again, nobody has come in to tell anybody what's happening, what this explosion was, why they've lost power. Again, there's no communications. And you have you took a moment and you looked over to the woman and her children, and she's kind of on the floor with them, just kind of like cradling them, the older child holding the ball, and the younger child, his head is kind of like turned off to the side, and he for a moment makes eye contact with you, before you kind of like put your head in your hands. And he kind of like slips away from his mother's grasps, and she kind of like, no, Essen, like reaches out to try to like bring her child back, and he comes kind of running up to you and squats on the ground and puts his hand on your shoulder. uh, Mister, it's okay. Sometimes there's just big space noises. You don't have to be afraid.
When he touches my shoulder, I definitely like twitch, and like he definitely scared me a lot. And I can't even. Everything is just muffled. All I felt was I didn't hear the words. They didn't register in me. All I felt was that touch. So I'm just gonna do my best to stop shaking and just focus on muting everything out of the everything, just muting everything out to just make a black empty space for myself.
The little boy Essen will take off his blue jacket, the one that he liked, the one that kind of matches yours but kind of doesn't, and he will just kind of like place it around you like a blanket and just sit on the ground with you, still keeping close, but to let you know that you're not alone right now in this moment. And as everybody's kind of getting up and trying to figure out what's going on, you will now start hearing shouting. You will start hearing the sounds of firearms going off. Yes. Yes, I know you like the firearms.
That's not what I was saying. What do you mean?
See that look?
Where are they coming from? Are they like, so I mean, Rex is on like the bowels of the ship. Where do they sound like? If he can hear them at all, where do they sound like they're coming from?
Yeah, so because Rex is pretty low, that means he's close to the cargo bay. So the cargo bay is for sure where some of the gunfire is coming from. However, Eli is going to be the closest to the other firearms going off towards the bridge.
Good luck, nerd.
I'm on it.
Rex does move towards, like, if he can hear it, like, a distant one and then, like, a much closer one, he's obviously going to move to the closer one. Actually, does he also know where Darling is? Like, in general?
Yeah, Darling would be a couple rooms down. Again, just because you're a belt or just because you were invited doesn't mean that you get the... You got to have the space bucks.
Yeah.
Go hang up upstairs.
Sure. Yeah, I think, like, he looks at his door to see if it's, like, still closed, like the manual override hasn't been engaged. And then if it hasn't, which he assumes, he'll move towards wherever the closest set of gunfire is that he hears.
Okay. And you, as you kind of make your way down the hallway and head towards the cargo bay, there are a couple people, some of them were just ship workers who are running out. Some of them have wounds already. They're bleeding through their jumpsuits, and they're just kind of bolting down the hall. One of them even kind of like bumps into. She's like, "Yo, don't go in there!" And just like starts running off.
Okay, fucking just go whatever you want. He obviously disregards entirely, but he does sling the rifle back over, like he removes the strap, and he's like actually holding it, the low ready, and proceeds to follow this train of running people.
Okay. You're going with the people?
No, toward like they're the opposite direction they're going.
The opposite. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's you're able to make it there, no problem. Are you kind of like peering around?
Yeah, so like if he can identify like the door they're running from, which I think you said the cargo area, right? He'll like get there and then like back up against like so if here's the open door, he'll put his back against the wall next to the door and then like have the rifle at the ready and sort of like do like quick peeks to see what's going on in there. Because I obviously heard some kind of like, fire happening there.
Go ahead and roll a perception.
Okay. Did you say roll rifles? That's what I heard.
Pretty sure I said roll perception.
Okay, cool.
Close, though.
How about that number?
How about that number?
Yeah, that's a number. 12?
9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, cool. So
12 and a thing. I'm a stunty boy.
Stunted.
I got
you
hella
get 3
stunts.
stunt points.
I got hella stunts.
Let's see. Let's take a look over at. So this is what's cool.
Is this
about,
a social
the
stunt
age system
or an exploration stunt?
Honestly, I'll let you pick from either of those.
I'll tell you this. I'll do this.
Kind of social.
I'll say it's an exploration one, and I'm gonna spend all 3 stunt points on the upper hand. If my success leads to combat within a moment or two, which it seems like it might, you receive a +3 on your initiative roll.
Perfect. Go ahead and take that stunt. How cool.
Done.
Oh, cool. It's great. I love it. Stunt dice, y'all. Very fun. So you peer around the corner, and you see 2 people. Now, both of them have their rifles kind of slung over the shoulder. They are starting to move through the cargo now that they've cleared the area out. There are 3 bodies on the floor. unmoving.
Do the men with rifles, do they look like they have any kind of OPA affiliation? Like, almost everyone has some kind of tattoo or a symbol or something. Do these look like they're fellow OPA members, or do they look like they're some third party or fucking dirty Martians? No offense.
They do look like OPA. They have OPA branding, all as most OPA folks do, all over the place.
I think he
Tattoos, patches.
he'll see this and then he'll like still back up against the wall, and with that same kind of like walkie, right, whatever that radio is, he just kind of like, hey, darling,
Yeah.
this
Fine. What's up?
belter loader in the cargo. Is this you?
In the cargo? Nah, it's not me.
The OPA.
They're not my OPA.
Is that open fire? You pay the checks.
Yeah. Take care of it.
Saba. And he like hangs up or lets go of the thing, clips it back on his thing, and he'll drop to one knee, and get the rifle and attempt to pick one of them off.
All right.
Yeah, we're going in.
Roll me that ranged.
Accuracy rifles. I have focus in rifles, so I'm gonna give you some kapows. A bunch.
A bunch.
Yeah, so 15. I
Bunch.
think does a 15 hit.
Let me see. I gotta do my what is it? Defense plus.
Should be just defense, I think.
Is it just defense?
It's
I
just
think
defense. If my attack
'cause
roll
I'm
beats
not.
their defense, and then
Yep.
the other thing for
Okay.
damage.
You beat it.
Fuck
Go ahead and roll. What's the damage gonna be?
Also a bunch.
A shit ton.
Well, I rolled badly, so 7 damage is what they get
Yeah.
on them.
That's all right. That's
So
not
it's,
bad.
it's 7 minus whatever their armor is.
I would like you to just tell me how you one shot, one kill.
Great. I think what happens is it's not a good shot. Right, it could have been better, but he like gets down on like one knee, like levels it against his knee to elbow and fires, and it hits this guy like right through the midsection, so it definitely punctured some organs. So he's gonna die in like a minute or two. It's just gonna be really painful the entire time. So he probably like alerts the next guy. He's screaming and yelling. There's some fluids. Yeah.
There's probably a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot
Of
and he's
different
kind of
fluids too. Yeah. Yeah.
falling down to the ground. He kind of like tries to swing around his own rifle. The other person who's in there as well, now armed, and they are looking towards the door.
Yeah, he would have definitely like gotten like as close to the door as possible, and then like sort of pulled back a little bit as soon as he fired. If that's a thing he can do.
Yes, that's fine. That's a perfect thing that you could do. They are gonna just random open fire though.
That's fair.
So
I don't know if that counts as cover, and I think cover gives me a +2 to something.
Yep, cover because it's you have full cover.
Yeah.
'cause you ducked completely around. So yeah.
I don't remember exactly what cover does, but
Okay, so that is 14 plus. So that's a 16.
what does cover do? Does it give me defense
It gives you a +2
to defense or to
this open.
to armor? I don't remember. Cover.
It's damage cover. Okay, armor bonus.
Okay, so the whatever your number is, 14 definitely hits me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my number is a 16. They have a
+2.
+2.
Definitely hits me.
Okay. So then I roll. There. What do they have? 2D.
If they have rifles, it's 3d6 +1.
They technically do not have an actual rifle.
Well, get wrecked, boys.
It's a modified gun, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so that is a 3.
That does nothing. It pings
one.
off the door.
Okay.
Yeah, I have with cover. I have 6 armor. So
Yeah, Nailed it then. So the two of them are just kind of firing blindly at the door, trying to at least give themselves some time to cover, while the one guy spilling his innards essentially kind of tries to crawl over behind a large cargo box. The other kind of hides behind another box, but missing. There are just bullet holes all over the place, though.
He's gonna like one quick look behind to see if anyone is any other civilians in the area, and if there are not, he doesn't give a shit anymore, and he's gonna go back to cover like Overwatch.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and there's nobody. The area has been cleared.
He doesn't care about bullet spray then, as long as no one else is in danger of accidentally getting shot.
Perfect. Eli, you hear fire very close to you, towards the bridge.
Yup.
What would you like to do, if anything?
So Eli is not what one would call a gunfighty person, but they are still, no matter what anyone else is going to say, technically a belter. And so Eli is going to be like, is just going to start. It's not a particularly graceful run, but it's a run. Is going to run towards the bridge, and like I need literally everything I can tamper with in that doorway in the next 30 seconds to like the thin air and just books it for the bridge.
Okay. As you're heading up to the bridge, there's no resistance. There's nobody in that hallway. The door is closed to the bridge, and it's relatively quiet now.
Can I put my ear up to the door and see if I can hear any of the sounds coming through?
Sure. Go ahead and perception.
Let's do that. What is that? That's a 10. Hey.
Unfortunately, the door is thick.
Yeah.
Again, this is to the bridge. Nobody's really supposed to get in. So
Sure.
how somebody got in, certainly sus. But you can't seem to hear any noise coming from it.
Can I figure out if there's power still, like if the backup power to the bridge is still functioning?
How would you want to try to do that?
So I think we're at the bridge door, and there isn't going to be like a manual disengage there. But if the emergency lighting is still running, like I can probably feel like the hum of machinery if we're going to be talking about something move. Like there's still like machines on in the room.
Yeah, and there are. There's the life support systems obviously have to be on. You know, there's some sort of backup power generator that is still keeping the vessel for now sustainable.
Yeah. So I want to find. I don't know. Did Sid come up with anything for me that I could use to manipulate any other system, like wiring from where I am?
How about you would know that you could probably plug your system into the terminal, into the wall unit. Usually there's like an access pad, requires like passcodes and stuff like that.
Yep.
So you know that you'd be able to connect up to that. And if you wanted to try to hack your way in with Sid's assistance, you could take an additional +2.
Sure.
Like a hack.
I will do that. I think that's technically a technology focus, and I don't have that. But I'm just going to roll straight intelligence with the +2. 6, 2 plus.
Dang, that +5.
Yeah, plus and then +2 because it doesn't actually think I have a focus there. So that's 6, 8, 13, 15.
Perfect.
And then stunts plus, on the 3.
You get a stunt.
Yeah.
So if you want to take a look at what the stunt is, you are successful in accessing and bypassing the security protocols for the panel, and you are able to unlock the door.
Okay. Would you say this is a infiltration thing that we are doing here?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
You're trying to get in.
I would like to cover my tracks so that I can, if I need to, and hack into that network again, I can reduce the difficulty by -2 for a whole bunch of time.
Sure.
Cool.
Sounds good. Just mark that down and make sure that we remember.
Yeah.
And you hear the door, the mechanism of the door just kind of like as it unlocks. What would you like to do? We're gonna press on.
I'm gonna take a minute and see if I can access cameras, but other than that, like, I think, yeah, Eli's going for cameras to see what's going on in the room. Doesn't want to just open the door and be like, haha, and then get shot a lot.
Okay.
So.
Great.
It's actually allergic
Our
to
camera,
bullets.
though. Mike. Our camera is going to shift to a door in the upper cabins. And we see a figure, again, just darkly dressed. Their hair slicked back. They have a partial facial mask, just kind of protecting their identity, so to speak. And we're gonna watch this figure and make its way all the way up to the door of Mr. Cox. And we'll watch the man kind of just like boop, 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 type in the passcode for the door, and it opens. Adrian, Daisy.
Like as I hear the numbers being pressed, he's just going to go to Daisy. Ah, good. I was waiting for them to come. This is a very important meeting, so stay quiet, don't move.
She's like frantically looking at your schedule, like there's no meeting scheduled. What are you? She hits the floor as this man, point blank. Well, technically not point blank, but with a silencer, pulls out a pistol and puts one between her eyes. Body to the floor.
Scotch.
Do you know why I'm here, Mr.
You-
Cox?
You are probably here because you are not a dumb man. A dumb man would not have been smart enough to reach me. You are probably here because you are not a weak man. A weak man would not have been able to reach me. So, that probably means that you are also a reasonable man. So, let us behave like reasonable men. Scotch?
He waves his hand, gesturing. Sure. Entertain me.
I am a politician, sir. That is my job.
I know.
Well, I have something that you want. I don't know what it is yet, but if I did not, I'd imagine I would be continuing my lovely conversation with Daisy wherever we go, once it's all over. If you could forcibly take it, I'd be dead. I very much would like to live. You very much would like what I can provide. Now, the only thing that remains unclear is how do we come to accords?
It's easy. You come with me.
Ah,
Alive.
until such point as I no longer need to be alive. It does not suit my needs that of being alive to come with you without any sort of assurance. So you will have to negotiate far better than that, my friend.
Well, the assurance is I won't kill you now.
And here I thought I was supposed to be the one that was doing the entertaining.
This was a lovely chat. But I don't like chatting. Come with me.
He picks up his speech and takes a shot of scotch. He takes one of his finer jackets and he puts it over Daisy and just kneels down really quickly. I am so sorry, child, but I promise, one way or another, I will keep it to 35 minutes. And then he just keeps walking with them.
And the figure will guide you, pistol kind of tucked back away, hand never leaving it though, and start taking you downstairs, further downstairs, even heading towards the cargo bay. Kosh, how are you doing?
I think after a while of trying to breathe steadily, just I finally start taking more senses, sound, light, and the sense of the little kid. And I open my eyes and I address him. Where's your father, kid?
My father?
Yeah.
He's on the belt. He's working. We're gonna go see him.
Then go back to your mom and make sure you get there. And I'll grab his like jacket and I'll like hand it to him. And I'm having a hard time breathing, but I'm still like focusing internally, just. And I start like getting my senses back, and I grab my bag and I start looking around the ship to see if there's maybe a technician's terminal that's kind of away from group of people to go to it to start probing into like the terminal itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You would know that in the passenger cabin, like the common cabin, you'd have to go outside of it to access that panel, but it's a pretty standard ship. You know exactly where it is.
Okay. Yeah. I go over there and I pull out my little hand terminal and I start rooting around in like this terminal and start like looking for logs to see like what the recent power outage was, and if I can see like kind of locate where the like the explosion was, to see if there's like any breaches in the ship or anything, to see if there's anything I can do to like close airlocks and see if I can reroute power, or if I can even reroute power or anything like that.
Great. Go ahead and let's get some sort of tech roll from you.
Is it under powers or focuses?
I think it's just intelligence.
I think it's a focus because I have the engineering or technology focus.
Yeah, so you can add that focus. So you'll roll intelligence
Okay.
+2.
So on your character sheet, you see where it says intelligence and this little checkbox at the top right of intelligence. Click the checkbox.
Boom.
And then roll intelligence.
Boom.
And it will do the math for you. There it is.
Wow.
That's a hell of a stunt. You succeeded.
That's a hell of a stunt. That's a super duper. You have just opened up like everything here. You are going to be incredibly successful in what you are looking for. So go ahead and take a moment to figure out what stunt you would like to pick. This could be, I would say, infiltration, exploring, kinda. It's not really a social.
Exploring, social. I only see exploring and social. Oh no, I don't. Not in combat. So
I think those are
Okay.
the only two kinds of stunts.
exploration. Okay,
Exploration,
so
social, and combat. 3.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Um,
subcategories in.
Yeah,
Thurs,
there's investigation.
I
so I'm looking under exploration stunts, and I see speed demon. You complete your test in half the time it would otherwise take.
Perfect. Even better. I like that. It's a good stunt to use here.
So you have 3 stunt points, which means you can do Speed Demon and then when a plan comes together as well.
Oh, that's what it
Because
costs.
that's
I see.
only
Okay.
2.
Yeah.
You have
Okay,
one
okay,
more
okay.
point to spend, and you have to spend them now,
You,
or you lose them for the next
okay,
turn.
so whatever when a plan comes together means, I will go with. I'll read it out loud for everybody. You reveal that this test was part of your plan all along, granting a bonus equal to SP spent on one ally's next test during the same encounter to accomplish the same goal.
Which is
So
basically like you take a +1 forward. So like on your next
Mhm.
roll for doing something about what you're doing, you could get a +1 on it because you're the only ally around.
okay.
Yep. So, what does it look like when Kosh is at this terminal?
So like it kind of like a flip switches. Like if somebody was seeing me walking, like standing up, I'm shaking and almost like coming back from hyperventilating, and my eyes start to like scan back and forth, and instinctively I go over to the terminal, and as soon as the terminal turns on and I start typing in keys, like everything kind of just washes over me, and I'm focused. I'm I'm absolutely still with just my eyes going back and forth through the screen, up and down, reading every letter, and just with precision moving screens, typing things, entering commands, until finally I managed to do what you allow me to do.
Yep. So, as you are kind of just you are leading an orchestra at this point, as you are just flying through the data. This is a language that you know to be true and dear. And as you're sifting through this information, just like looking for any signs of like, okay, no, this system checks okay, this system checks okay, this system's check is okay, you at least find the problem, or one of the many problems. You are able to determine that the power was manually cut underneath the ship. B, there is a hull breach, but it has been sealed off by emergency doors. So there's no vacuum, nothing's getting sucked out. However, there is something that is docked to that breach. It is of an unknown origin vessel. And those are the 3 things that you're able to determine with that roll as you're sifting through the data.
Okay. Am I allowed to keep going on this
Yeah.
terminal here?
Yeah.
So this like power that was cut, this was like outside, like I can tell that it was outside of the ship, like somewhere that I couldn't get to, or like somewhere down below, like
Yeah,
that's
more
still
like it wasn't cut from like the bridge, it wasn't cut from like the engineering room. It was cut from somewhere within the ship, probably at like in the lower region. Somebody had to get like between the walls essentially to clip the power.
okay.
There was a disconnect.
Okay, and so that ship that was docked, am I able to access it, or like this docking, was it like the explosion that happened was used to dock the ship, or dock this thing that attached the ship, or was it like docked where it's supposed to be, like if a ship were to, do you know what I'm asking? Because I'm trying
Yes.
to I'm having
Yep,
a hard time
I
here.
think I get what you're asking. So from the numbers that you can determine, you can only tell that there is a hull breach and that it is sealed off both internally from just an emergency mechanism that just seals off that compartment that was
Mhm.
breached so it doesn't cause havoc on the rest of the ship, but something has then externally sealed as well on the outside. So you can't quite, like, it's not connected to like the systems. It's just something has docked in that hole.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna take way too long. I'm gonna take a lot longer than a normal person would to like make a decision between these two. And I'm racking my brain like which one, and I'm almost just muttering that to myself, which one, until like finally like somebody walks by or something kind of like kicks me out of it, and I start rushing towards I lock the terminal. I start rushing towards the bottom of the ship to where the power was cut, and I just
Okay.
grab my bag and that's where I'm going.
Okay. And the person who kind of snapped you out of um, executive function making, right? Basically, this person that you ignore that walks by you has an automatic rifle in his hand and goes into the cabin. And that door closes. And I'm looking at the time. Do we want to stop here tonight?
Keep going.
I ain't got shit to do, and we started late.
We
Let's
didn't start
go.
late.
Yeah,
that's
let's go.
That's why I'm like, we're not where I wanted to leave off, but I'm looking at the time. We cool?
Let's keep going.
Cool. Cool. Great. Excellent.
Yeet.
Well, we're gonna jump back in then. That door closes, and you hear gunfire. A couple people screaming. Not really sure what's going on in that room. We're gonna switch back over to the camera on Rex. What's your position? What's going on down in the cargo bay?
So after the shots kind of pepper the door frame, he like waits a beat and then immediately drops back down to that. Like he basically just rotates back into that same position, and is tracking for the guy hiding behind the boxes. So he's going to, as quickly as possible, assess where that danger is coming from, and then open fire on that guy.
Okay.
Do I need a perception, or do you just want me to shoot this guy in the face?
I would say if you don't want a cover penalty, why don't you try to pass a perception check first?
Okay, I will throw a perception down there and see what happens. 11?
11?
12,
Yeah.
12, sorry, 12.
Yeah, it's good enough. 10 was the magic number that we were looking for tonight. And the armed man kind of goes to stand up to fire at you.
Yeah.
Right? You see him. You can now fire.
Cool. How about all the numbers?
Whew, that's a lot of numbers.
Does a 15
that's
hit
a lot
him?
of math. 15's gonna hit.
15's going to hit him. Great. Good. That should actually even be higher, I think. That should be like a 17. Either way, he gets wrecked.
You hit his 13, okay?
Yeah. He gets wrecked. So he takes 16 points of damage. So I think what happens here, because there's no way he has 16 points of armor, is like I see him behind the box, right? And I like see like he's trying to do the same thing I'm doing, but his leg is just out far enough. So I just one shot goes directly into his knee, which causes him to roll out from the side of the box in complete agony as his knee shatters. And then I just and he goes down. He's dead. And then I will like I only saw the two guys, right?
Correct.
I think that's enough.
Two that we're firing on.
Yeah, that's enough for him. Is he as soon as he like pops that guy in the knee, he drops out yelling and screaming. He pop. One chest, one head, and then he gets up and walks in, knowing there's the third guy that's bleeding out. He's gonna finish that guy off and see what the hell they were doing in here. So he just slowly walks out, like, rifle at the low ready, like scanning, looking back and forth for wherever this second guy is.
Okay, and you actually get to notice that where the bay door would normally open to load and unload cargo is completely blown inwards. There is significant damage to that area. However, there is another very rigged hunk of metal that's keeping that area sealed right now. There are like clamps on the inside that kind of help
Yeah.
pressurize and keep that sealed. And it leads into a hall into what you would suspect is a ship.
Perfect. So these were like guards, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think as he like is scanning back and forth, if he can see the second guy, I assume leaning against a box, nursing a stomach wound, he's just gonna pop one. That guy's down. What are these guys carrying? Because they look like they're OPA and they had makeshift weapons, or at least not good weapons. What were they carrying on them?
What were they carrying on them? So they have pretty just like ragtag pieces of equipment. Some maybe you might recognize as like common belter armor, common belter weapons, just scraps of whatever they could find. There might even be some like Earther or Martian pieces that are kind of like, welted together.
Like hodgepodge kind of armor.
Mhm.
Do they have any explosives on them?
No, they do not have any explosives on them.
Okay.
They have a couple like knives, some
Yeah.
ammo.
No, I
pistols,
mean
whatever,
he'll grab the
stuff like
ammo because it's kind of universal. In this like for as far as rifle ammo goes, it's kind of universal in space.
Space guns.
Yeah, space guns. But there comes a point in time where you're just, manufacturing the same rifle for everyone. Doesn't make sense to make multiple ones. It's like Fallout. It's all the same bullet, basically. So he'll grab whatever, like if it looks compatible, he'll like grab and like put it on like his vest. He was hoping for some kind of explosive, but if there isn't anything like that, there's nothing he can do. He's not going to one-man army the ship. So he's going to quickly leave this place and then do whatever knowledge he knows to make sure this door, the cargo bay door, stays locked from the opposite side.
So before you even get the chance to do that, you step outside of the cargo hull, and you hear footsteps coming down the hall. A set that belongs to the diplomat Adrian Cox, and a heavier step of the man standing behind him, holding a gun to his back.
Since I have been on this ship since it took off from wherever it took off from, am I aware of Adrian Cox?
Yes.
Okay.
You would be aware because you yourself are protecting one of the diplomats.
Sure.
One of the representatives who are supposed to be speaking on behalf of the miners of the belt.
Got it.
So you'd be aware that there might be somebody from Mars here as well.
I mean, at this point, Rex is in for a penny, in for a pound. He already killed these two OPA guys because that's what his job is. I think he just like snaps up and like quick fires. Like to the guy behind Adrian Cox.
All right.
Obviously, if it's obvious that he's being held at gunpoint and he's clearly coming towards an OPA ship as if this is a kidnapping, I don't think he's going to process that thought. He's just going to knock this out.
I mean, as long as the terrorist isn't like complaining, Adrian's kind of walking casually, putting chapstick on, just You understand that the gun to my back really is unnecessary.
And I think that's what gives it away, right? Is the chatter, the uncommon casual chatter of having a gun to your back, and that's what Rex hears, and it's like, all right, well, this makes way more sense, and he gets it ready, and as soon as they're like in sight, he'll fire up a shot at this other guy here.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I believe Adrian technically is serving as cover.
Okay.
So that is going to be...
I mean, it is canon that he is a short king, if that helps.
He is a short king, yes.
And the other guy you did say the other guy was 6 feet tall, so...
He was very big.
I'm going to shoot him in the face if I can.
We'll go, that's a -1.
Okay, so I'll do
+1 to his armor. Whatever.
I'll do the
See,
math.
ladies, this is why you need to get yourself a short man.
See, that's why I stay 5'6". So let's see here. That should be 2 higher. I don't know why my accuracy thing's not working. Maybe I fucked it up. But that should be 12, 14.
Okay. Yeah.
To hit this guy.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. Roll for damage. 10.
Okay. The shot blows right through his shoulder. But he's still standing.
That
He
looks
takes
rather
the gun.
painful, friend.
Maybe not the
He
best
takes the
times.
gun, even in his injured hand, and just kind of like shifts, pushes Adrian to the side for a second, still clutching onto your attire, and fires a responding pistol shot at you.
I deny it.
You deny it?
Yeah.
No.
No, I say
Don't,
no.
You don't want it?
I say no.
You don't want it? You say no?
No.
Okay.
Space Poppy gonna give it to you.
I don't want it. I pass.
Hang on, what is his? Okay, so this is a +4 to whatever I roll.
I don't like that.
God damn.
13 though.
13 does
I think you were
hit.
14. Oh
13
shit.
does
Okay.
hit. I only have a 10 defense.
Oh damn.
I wish I could help you, buddy, but he's
That's
grown.
Wow. That's
Okay.
Okay. That's also +2.
Woof. Question. Am I still in any kind of cover?
No, you stepped out.
Great.
You're in the hall.
So that's +2. So that's what? 11
11.
damage. I take. So I reduce it by 4. So that's down to 7 damage, if I'm not mistaken. And I have to take you know what? I don't. This is episode 1. I don't know how fortune works, but I'm going to reduce it by 7. I'm going to reduce my fortune by 7.
You can regain fortune.
Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I reduce my fortune by 7 points. I negate all the damage as like the whatever shots he fires hit directly in the armor that I'm wearing.
Sure. Yeah. It's like it just slams into the armor, right, and just indents it.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
You feel
like there's definitely like a.
Yeah. The wind is like knocked out of you. There's gonna be a bruise later in the morning.
It's definitely a
unlike
solid
those other
punch to
guys,
the chest.
You're still alive. Adrian, is there anything that you would like to do in this moment as guns are going off?
Yeah, first off, he's going to just look and see the gentleman take a shot and still stand and go, "Oh, he's still alive. Perhaps you're not so deadly unless you're shooting sweet little Ethagers." And then,
Wow.
I'm going to attempt to piss him off enough for him to aim his gun at me instead. And I'm going to say, and here I thought you were deadly. You can't even take that man out. I promise you. Once he's done with you, I'll find who you belong to, and I'll legislate everything you love, everything you know, to the ground forever.
Shit. Why don't you go ahead and roll me?
Damage. Just roll damage
roll
for
an
that
attack.
sick burn.
That is a sick burn. Roll some attack on that. No. Probably what? Communication? It's like an intimidation tactic there.
Yeah. So I don't know what that means.
So, okay. So you get what was that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I like twos apparently.
You do like twos, and you also would technically have had a stunt die in place, but the magic number you were looking for is 10 on this one.
Ooh,
so the words
right.
don't
you're one
really
shy.
sit. He doesn't even move to look at you. He's just getting ready to take another shot at Rex.
He's going to kill you. That's it. That's my turn.
Technically, we're not rolling initiative here. Rex, it's your turn.
Cool.
If you wanted to engage and fire again.
I do want to do that. I want to shoot him many times. I don't know. I'm still not entirely sure why my accuracy thing isn't working, but let's see what happens here. Does it work this time? Nope, it doesn't. But that is 11, 13, 15.
Okay, and doubles as well.
And doubles as well. I get 1 stunt point. Let's look at combat stunts. What do you do? Is it 1 point to just kill him immediately? That'd be great.
That would be great. But probably not. But you do get a combat stunt. So you can make it look really
cool.
fucking cool.
Let's see what happens here. Move yourself when you attack 2 meters. You can choose. Nope. I
While
don't
we
want
are
that.
doing that, Eli,
I gain 1 defense.
you're going to be on deck. We'll shift to you in just a second.
How does 16 points of damage do to his whole body since he pushed Rex or Cox out of the way?
You tell me.
What does that look like? Does that end him? Is that a situation where he dies
Oh,
a lot?
now I understand that.
Is that a where he does
And
he?
being on the other end of critical might.
Yeah, buddy.
Max fucking
So like
damage.
I think
Fuck
like
you.
so he's coming around the corner. The first shot kind of goes off, catches him in the shoulder. He shoves Adrian out of the way. There's some sass talk. He fires 2 rounds. They hit my chest, and I pop back up. And then I just I assess his armor because he clearly has better armor than the rest of the guys, and I have skills in tactician. And I find where it's the weak point on that kind of armor, and I and I just triple tap. And it just they all hit right around the same cluster in center mass on this guy as they crack through the armor. There's enough force in the 3 rounds that it cracks through whatever armor he possibly had there, and that is a fatal wound. If not in seconds, it'll be over pretty quick.
He sputters, right? It's that pretty classic, just something hit an artery well enough, you punctured a lung for sure, and there's just blood. It's just
As he's on the ground, is there any chance I could take his mask off?
I mean, he's gonna be dead, so
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I just want him
You
to
can
die.
do whatever
no.
you want to a dead man.
Yeah. I just take the mask off, and before he dies, I just want him to know all my power and all my influence is now on petty revenge.
And he's trying so hard in that final breath to lift the pistol, but he can't.
No, how far are we from where Darling is?
You'd have to probably go back up 1 level.
And there's some
to
kind
where
of
the
lift,
lower
I assume,
cabins are.
or is it stairs? Okay.
Stairs or lift.
I think at this point Rex goes over to where Adrian is lifting the mask off and saying his bad guy monologue, and he grabs him. He grabs the dead guy by the chest armor and sort of hoists him up just enough that he's gonna drag him, and he puts not an aggressive, but he puts a hand on Adrian's shoulder and he just looks at him in a let's go, this way, Mr. Cox, and he's going to give him a shove and lead him back in the direction of Darling. His intent is to put him, Adrian, and this dead body in Darling's room, because Darling might know who that guy is.
Cool. Great.
I'd like to pick up this guy's rifle and see if it's key coded. If it's not, then I'm taking it with me.
So so dead guy had silence pistol.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking that.
Yep. No fancy key code. Just
Okay.
a very indiscriminate, discreet weapon. Very black market. You can already tell.
Hey, don't hurt yourself with that, okay?
I don't intend to use it, just to flash it around.
That's... I'll take the magazine out. It's okay. Come with me.
He falls.
And he's going to lead back towards Darling.
Perfect. So you make your way up to the lower cabins, heading back over to where Darling's room to be, and you go to open the door.
Yes.
And the door opens, and we switch over to Eli.
Fuck.
What are we doing, Eli?
Eli,
You've got that door unlocked. You've got some information on hand.
Yeah.
You have some suspicions as to what might be going on. But
Did I see any cameras in the bridge? Did I see what's going on in there currently?
with you had a pretty goddamn good high hacking roll, didn't you?
I think I had
You had a pretty
something
damn
in
good high
like
roll.
13 in stunting or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So we'll
Yeah.
play off with that roll still. Yeah, you're able to access the cameras. So you could kind of flip through the different feeds and see what's going on inside. And there are on the floor, obviously, the crew dead, piled up off into the corner. The 2 men who you had seen, very OPA fashion. Both of them now have just their rifles slung over their backs. One sitting down and actually starting to work on the console. The other just kind of pacing around, maybe just being a dick to the bodies, and goes down and takes the captain's hat and puts the captain's hat on his head.
Yeah. So I have two questions. Since Eli's monitoring the ship, like its systems currently from where he is,
Mhm.
do I notice that there's someone else checking something in from around, say, where the passengers are?
Oh. Hand question mark? Yeah, if you would like, go ahead and roll roll intelligence. Let's Kosh, were you trying to cover your tracks or were you just trying to get information?
Like cover my tracks in the terminal or like in the vicinity of like people looking at me kind of a thing.
In the terminal. Like if you were accessing, do you
Oh
have
yeah.
the know-how to like get into something but to
I
mask?
think I actually have something. Hold on. I think I have something. Oh no, that was a stunt. I wouldn't have had that. Okay, never mind. I read it in a stunt, so I would have tried for sure. Like
Okay, so then let's
yeah.
do a contested roll. So both of you, please go ahead and roll me an intelligence check.
Cool.
Go.
Oh!
Whew, dang. Okay.
No.
Well, close. You're good. You're good at what you do. But there's somebody on the ship who may be a little bit better and is very much aware that there is a terminal being accessed in the common um, hull where passengers are.
Cool. Um,
What you had a second thing that you were going to ask, I think?
yeah, I was gonna say, I want to, while I'm also multitasking because reasons, I want to like try and see if I can. So, I want to see what the person at the terminal is doing and try to see if I can figure out from that whether or not they look to be someone who's friends with the people who have the guns that I ran into, or if they're like someone from the ship trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. Based off of the contested roll, because the person who was accessing the terminal didn't access it through like a ship identifying number, so you could probably assume that they are not part of the crew. But it looks like they were only trying to find data. You're not sure specifically what they were
Okay.
looking for, but you can kind of track the information that they were looking over.
Gotcha. So you wouldn't need information about what the ship is doing if you were the one who blew it up. Okay. Sid, could you open me a channel to whoever is hacking in on that terminal?
Sid goes ahead and does this. I will have a voice prepared for Sid next time.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I want to do with that.
Sure.
I'm gonna make that happen. Shut up, Mike. You know what I want to do.
I'm excited.
So yeah,
I didn't spend money on a voice modulator this exact season for a one-off throw-off game. I have no idea what you're on about.
Oh no, no, not at all.
Didn't either.
Or I got the same one I got.
Are we all fancy space boys?
Yeah, we could.
So yeah, you're able to access the terminal, and you can speak openly through it. The question is,
Yeah.
Kosh, are you still there? Or did you already walk away?
I mean, I don't know exactly when he saw what I was looking for, but I did like rush off as soon as because like I was at the terminal kind of freaking out trying to make a decision,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I kind of ran off. So I'm not sure I would have been there.
Oh,
Yeah, I
fair.
don't think that you were there either. However, with the open comms, Eli, you hear the gunfire echoing from the hallway near that terminal.
Great. Okay, Sid, track the terminal. Whoever asked it, see if you could find them. I'm gonna try something. Don't say irresponsible. That's real. That's rude. And then we'll go back to hacking into thing. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to, since I'm by the bridge and I don't really know what's happening down there, I don't have time to figure it out right this second. I'm going to try and shut the OPA technician out of the system and make it look like the ship is going into meltdown to try and scare them out of the bridge.
Interesting. Okay. Do another. That's another intelligence check.
Hell yeah. And some engineering onto that noise. And blink. Daunted!
Wow.
Woohoo!
Wow. Wow.
Eli may not very many things, but smart is definitely one of them.
Damn. That's 5 stunt points.
Yeah.
So you fucking flourish this. You're incredibly successful in the task that you are attempting to do.
Mm-hmm.
What does this look like with your stats? You can pull from infiltration.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull. Where is it? Ugh. Okay. Boy, that's
I know.
tough. That's tough. Okay.
There's a lot. There's a lot for sure.
Okay. So I'm going to run. I'm going to take It Wasn't Me out of infiltration. I'm going to try and leave the evidence. Okay, so the evidence I'm going to leave is that whoever the OPA person who's accessing that terminal did fucked something up somehow. Like, if they try and look at it, it looks like they've maybe stumbled into some access they weren't allowed to or pushed a wrong button. That is clearly demonstrating that they fucked up and they've set the ship to meltdown. What I'm also going to do is spend the last stun point I have to calm the waters and reduce our churn by 1.
Oh, that's a big help because we
Yeah.
have 2 corruption bars, which
I
means we
know!
10 churn points.
Drop that by 1, please!
Yep, because I wanted to end this on the roll, and I now don't get to roll because you dropped it to 9. How the
Whew.
fuck about that?
Thank God.
Ooh, oh boyo, boyo, boyo. Well played. Well
Those just like, I gotta find a new way to fuck you all.
I know. How am I gonna talk them up now?
The audience paid money. They need to get fucked up. It's true.
Right. That's how it works. No. So great. You caused the terminals inside the bridge to start flashing, right? Because that is the only area that has at least responsive power.
Right.
And so, alarms are starting to go off. Here, woo, 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 just all over the place. The lights blowing up all over the place, and both of them are like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Is like going on. They're kind of like yelling back and forth to each other. The one clearly the actual computer person of the 2 is like frantically at the computer and just like typing away, moving things around, trying to figure out what is going on, if they need to get off the ship. You can now hear them because they are being incredibly loud. They're just shouting at each other in Belter, and one of them points down at the council, and the 2 of them just stare at each other, and they grab their equipment and just pull the door open and start bolting out the door. They run right past you.
Eli watches over his shoulder to make sure that nothing is happening, like to make sure that nothing, like they haven't noticed or aren't paying attention to him. If they're not, just calmly closes up the panel, walks up to the door, pulls it open, walks into the bridge, closes it behind him, and just goes, "Sid, turn the alarms off. That's really loud."
Sid responds and just boop, 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 boop. Everything kind of powers down.
All right, let's
As the
see.
ship isn't actually about to be a nuclear waste, so.
Yep. And so Eli just sort of like cracks his fingers like a pianist. Just like, all right, well, let's see what we can do next. This console's way better than a panel in the wall.
As you kind of sit down and you start getting ready to investigate the council itself, we will go ahead and shift back over to Kosh, who's heading down. From the area that you're at, you are going to need to pass through the lower cabins. And in doing so, you will now see a bleeding but armed, bloodied but armed Rex, and a shorter man in Adrian. And you see the two of them kind of running down the hallway, although they're also dragging a corpse. There's also
Casually
that.
dragging a corpse.
Super casually dragging a corpse.
So like I can see like Rex is wearing like arm like a uniform of like the security of the ship, right? Like
Yes.
is that what he's
yeah,
wearing?
he's whatever. So his uniform, whatever he's wearing, would have the ship's name on the back of it, which you can't see. You just see him bringing Adrian Cox along and dragging a corpse.
And would I recognize Adrian Cox? He's a pretty famous politician, right?
Yes, yeah, you would absolutely be able to recognize Adrian Cox.
Yeah, okay, so I just keep running past them towards my goal.
Okay. Rex, Adrian, did you want to
Is
anything?
there anything in that direction that I know of besides the dead bodies that I left there?
Well, there's the stairwell or the shaft that he needs to take to get down to the area he was looking at going towards because of the cut power.
I think he just yells back, "Hey, it's not safe over there."
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna fix it.
No, there's dead bodies. There may be more, not dead.
I'm gonna keep running.
Good luck. This way,
Okay.
Mr. Cox. And continues on.
And the camera like kind of watches Adrian and Rex kind of continue, down the hallway to the cabin. Camera shifts though, and we follow Kosh heading downstairs back to where Rex and Adrian had once come from, down in the lower hull. It's to head towards the cargo bay. That's where the data was telling you to go towards. And once you enter in the area, you see the mess that was left behind. You see the door of the bay just completely blown inwards. You see dead bodies on the floor. Some of them obviously innocent, some of them probably not so much. But that's kind of what you see right now.
Yeah, that even though I was warned, that scene like almost cripples me, and I fall to my knees, and I'm struggling to move. I'm struggling to breathe. I'm like covering my face, trying not to look at the bodies. And so since like I would know where to go, I think like shaking and hyperventilating and like covering my face, I'm just looking at the floor, kind of like covering everything around me, covering the scene, to just look at the floor and focusing on the floor where there are no bodies. As soon as I see like a foot, I'll jerk my head, and I'm just cautiously trying to move to where I need to be without seeing everything that I'm seeing. And it's taking me a really long time. Like this is every step is grueling and hard and difficult for me. But I do want to make my way to the terminal or wherever the power was cut.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's a terminal that is off to the side, relatively close to the front of the cargo bay, but way down. So it would take you a little while to kind of walk over there, but you are able to make your way up to the terminal, and you could see the panel is just ripped right open. No one cared. No one cared. There was no intent to be discreet in how they cut the power. They simply just pulled the console out, got inside the wall, and severed the power.
When I get to the terminal, that's kind of when, again, my breathing starts to subside and I start breathing a little bit more. I'm still like shaky, but I'm starting to refocus and rewire my thoughts to focus on what I need to do. And I take off my jacket and I pull off my sleeve, and you'll see a metallic arm. This whole arm is just made of metal with like little like almost like wiry, like tendons almost. And I start opening up little compartments and pulling out little tools and wires, and I just start go to work. I just start getting to work. I start soldering wires together. I start getting this this terminal, and I start like piecing it together and getting rid of broken pieces. And I think I have something called improvisation, or actually it's expertise. I think I'm doing this right, but I'm going to use technology or engineering to do what I can to fix it and get the power back online.
Yeah, perfect. So go ahead and roll that intelligence. And then if you had a focus to help with that.
Focus. Let's see. Focus. Yeah. Well, I think I already added the focus thing because they're
The
both
focus
for
already come in
intelligence,
with
so it comes with the +2.
Okay.
Does
cool.
it add? Because my ability is a 4.
The
I don't
character
think
sheet's
it
not
added.
great, so you just have to sometimes add
Yeah.
it manually.
Yeah, we'll have to add
Add
that.
another 2.
We'll add that to it. Yeah.
Okay, well, no problem. That is a great roll. And so we get to watch Kosh, this inhuman metallic arm, storing tools and assisting you as you are taking these, essentially what are just these massive, like almost like bridge cables, right? And it's just tons of braided wire that were just severed, and you have to go back in and connect each and every single one, but you do so masterfully. This is something you're familiar and comfortable doing, and you have no problems. It's just a tedious task, but it's one that almost maybe calms you down, especially having had to walk through a minefield of bodies, having to heard the explosion from before. It's a very calming task for you, and it'll take you some time, but you are able to successfully. Eventually, we all hear just like as the power to the ship starts turning back on. The air becomes warmer as the ship was kind of growing cold, running only on life support systems. All of the lights turn on, doors open once more, communications are back online. It's just going to take the ship a little while to kind of get back to a functioning capacity. However, we shift back over again with Rex, Adrian dragging a body, excuse me, leaving a trail of blood in their path, heading to the room of Darling. I almost said Daisy. It's not.
Too
really,
soon.
you two? No,
Too soon.
Way
Too
too soon.
oh my god!
I feel
Yeah,
like
my
Space
heart.
Puppy did that on
I'm
purpose.
sorry.
The real villain was known the
Hey,
whole
I
time.
killed your girlfriend.
This is how proud I am of it. Remember when I did the thing?
It, right?
Remember that time you were having a nice dinner and drinks, and then I
It's fine, honestly,
exploded
because Darling suffered the same fate.
Oh
Face
well,
down
balls.
on the ground.
Moral of the story: don't name
Small
ladies with
bullet
the D.
hole.
That's inconvenient.
If you're a lady and your name starts with D, you're in for a
You're
bad
also
time.
gonna be
Get
dead.
wrecked.
Hi, it's nice to
Dude,
meet
that's
you.
what
I'm
the D
Dolly.
stands for.
Don't get attacked. Don't
Yeah.
get attacked.
D stands for dead.
Okay, real quick. The person that killed Daisy, they're not an earther, right? They're a belter. Can I tell from looking at Buddy?
Roll perception.
Yeah, let's do that, because I just realized I'm going to ruin his family's life. I need to know where they at. All fours.
Wow. It's not
Wow.
Oops, all fours.
Wow, but also stunts.
Yeah.
Triple
So-
force and 4 stun points. Why?
Right, with 4 stun points. Oh my gosh.
He on X Games mode.
I guess I don't know. Do it's a social stunt?
Yeah,
You
there's
want some social
membership and
stunts?
reputation stunts.
Yep,
Yeah,
there's reputation. There's
I need to-
attitude.
I need to know everything I can find out about this man. I'm about to ruin his grandma's life.
I'm
If
about
his
to ruin
auntie-
this man's whole
His whole
career.
career. If his grandma celebrates Kwanzaa, I'm slapping the candles.
Wow. Wow.
Damn.
Rude.
Damn.
You don't kill my receptionist.
It's
True.
Let's see. I'm trying to look this over to see like what might help you here, because you have 4 points to spend.
Yep. Wow, it costs 4 points to flirt. That's real life right there.
That's true.
And I never get four stunts IRL.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a call out to all of us and all of you.
Wow. This hurts.
All right,
roll damage,
good. Games treating flirting as a thing that happens in real life. Rare, and usually I fucked it up.
Oh man, I really shouldn't have dumped my communication stat.
Oh, you too, huh?
I got this with the perception.
Yeah, this is just with the perception. I know, and I'm trying to like read through like what would
Yeah,
be
none of them really apply to this exact
None
situation.
of them are. Yeah.
I mean, so I have a suggestion if people don't know.
Sure. Yeah, please.
I'm thinking if you take Let's Make a Deal and finding out who he is and knowing will benefit somebody else down the road later that you can cash in on when we figure out something.
Yeah,
That might be a useful
in
one
the
to do.
general social stunts tab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, we can do that.
That leaves you with
Okay.
one more. Leaves you with one more point too.
You couldn't have made it something cheaper, Eli.
It's only
I'm sorry.
expensive
At
here.
least I gave you an option. We were all standing here going.
So
You know what?
that was 3, right?
That's
Yeah,
3.
that was 3.
Mhm.
So then, why not spend a point on when a plan comes together?
Ooh.
Because
Yeah.
now you'll be able to give an ally a
Mhm.
+1 as long as it's related to possibly the information obtained.
All right, yeah, cool. I
do that?
will
Okay.
do those things. So
Okay,
is
so
he a belter?
We'll save him for later.
And who's his grandma?
Well, here's the thing. Now that you have a moment, you can take a look at the face, take a look at the body. There's no way this is a belter. This dude is built.
The guy I'm
Is he
dragging,
built?
right?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
one that you're
okay.
dragging. Yeah. He's got good teeth, good hair,
Rude.
no markings on his body. He's probably
This-
an earther.
This is spacist.
Shut up. All right, so see. All right, so I'm just gonna just kind of you'll see. I'm very glad I stopped that sentence before it came out. You'll see Adrian just kind of like poking at the dead body, like moving the lips to see the teeth. Just very interesting indeed.
Hey, you want to take him on a date or what?
That would be illegal, and it's not my type.
Also, what? Also, gross.
Yep.
He's dead.
That's the illegal part, and the not my type part.
Okay, well, I mean, to each their own, I guess. And he rolls over Darling.
Yeah, Darling's just got a nice little clean hole straight through. Quick assessment. It looks like it would come from that little tiny pistol.
Yeah. I think Rex makes that connection, seeing Adrian holding it. He says, "Hey, why'd he take you?"
That was agreeable.
That makes sense. He's an ass.
He was.
This is you for the belt. This is Darling. He's our diplomat.
Sorry to see, darling, endure such a fate. And I am even more sorry that it came from one of mine. And he like points to the body of the guy we got the pistol from.
He like finally looks down at that guy. He's an inner.
Yeah. He is from Earth. Mother Earth, and he comes here and he kills his family. Not that I'd be any less sad if he only killed Belters, but you understand.
The The men in the cargo hold, they were Belter.
It looks like they don't really care too much about who it is they kill as long as it's someone in their way.
No. They were working with him. The men on the ship were Belters.
Belters and Earthers working together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Peace is possible.
If this is your peace in Yoloda, this is not peace.
It's got to start somewhere, huh? If we can at least agree to kill together, then perhaps we can agree to live together.
Oh,
Let's
you mean
look for the silver lining, eh?
This is why you're a diplomat and I am
Good at killing.
good at my job, I guess, yeah.
I'd like to have you around here. I think if you were closer to Daisy, things would have turned differently.
Well, as it turns out, this guy signed my checks and he can't write no more, so...
Well, I can write pretty well.
You got two good hands?
As long as you keep them safe.
Present job notwithstanding, I think you'll be all right.
I have faith that whatever it is that led Darling to this was of his own making as well, yeah.
Okay, well then, boss, where to?
First things first, we need to see if there is, if the Martian diplomat is still alive. I'd hate to be the only diplomat to make it alive. It'd be somewhat awkward.
Gnome, is there, like, documents and shit in this room?
In Darling's room?
Yeah, right, like, he's also a diplomat just on the bowels of the ship. Does he have anything that he was bringing to this big meeting?
Yeah, you could rummage through his stuff if you want to go ahead.
I don't think Rex isn't a smart man, so he might not know what everything is, but he is going to assume there's something important in here and try to take it. Because it's clearly not on the corpse he's dragging around, so it must be here somewhere, whatever was important enough for this guy to bring. So yeah, I'll rummage. Is there some kind of roll for this that you'd like?
Yeah, I think it's just perception.
A perception roll, you say?
Or intelligence, because like evaluation.
Okay.
Whichever one is higher.
Does focus. Does my knowledge of strategy, tactics, and famous applications assist me in this role at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, no.
There's some things.
I was trying to get a thing.
You're gonna crit anyways. It's fine. Just roll.
I mean, so far I only crit on damage. So So let's give
we're not hitting anything.
Let's give you some perception here. Not good. Yeah.
Cool.
So less than
Great.
10.
Great. It's not so much that you couldn't find anything. It's more so much that Darling's just a piece of shit. Whoever wanted him to be a diplomat, was probably not the right person to have. It doesn't really have any documents, anything of importance. He's got some money, he's got some weapons, and he's got some trinkets. That's pretty much it.
Good. Okay.
Anything that he needed is Darling. It's all up here, right? Because he's smart.
That makes sense. I think he does like a quick toss of the room, and then like looks back to Adrian and just kind of shrugs it off. Okay, so
while you're doing your toss around the room, I'm just looking to see if there's any booze.
There's definitely.
I was gonna say that I feel like for sure.
Yeah, you easily found it. And as you kind of like are searching around, right? The power turns back on. The room illuminated normally. All the power has returned now to the ship. However, we are going to shift the camera one last time over to the common cabin where we had last heard gunfire, and nobody saw anything. Nobody went in. Nobody, went to figure out what was going on. And in the room are a bunch of people huddled in a corner, several bodies on the floor, and one or two armed men pointing their guns at these people. And we see the woman, or the mother, cradling her two children. One of them holding onto her, the other not. And the camera's gonna fade, and we're gonna end there tonight on a somber note.
No, you trying to fight, bro?
Man, if that's not asking for hands IRL, I don't know what is, Poppy.
Hands check.
Hands check.
Wow.
Hands check.
Wow.
Sorry that took
Oh,
so long,
yeah.
friends. But
That's
thanks-
okay.
thanks.
Chat, you saw that gnome took everything you loved. So remember that. Keep that in mind.
Did I had the chat. I haven't seen
Dude,
chat. At all.
chat loved Daisy and the kid so much. They lost their minds when Daisy died, and
It was
now
like-
they're rioting.
It was like, if Daisy dies, I'm gonna riot. And then, if this kid dies, I'm gonna riot. So we've got 2 riots now. That's what you get for filling the corruption bar.
In my
You didn't
notes when
just
that
remember.
happened, I just wrote the words murder, hate, fuck.
Gnome Catches Hands is the name of this episode. This was episode 1 of the Expanse RPG Entanglement, our little campaign here. As you can see, murder hate fuck is pretty much the theme of the whole show so far. I think that aptly describes it, and that Gnome's gonna catch some hands in the near future.
Did I set the tone? Did I get the game?
I
that
think
wanted?
you. I
Did
think you
get
got the
dark?
tone. Yeah.
Did I? Cool.
I think what happened is
I was-
like live. You set the tone. In chat, we are a giggle fest because there was a
I see
lot
the
of
giggles,
Cox
and
puns.
I'm like, I can't. I gotta focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go.
Turns
watch that.
out,
No,
Again.
Everything will be
love it.
fun and games up until you continue to kill our favorite
Kill our
NPCs. At
NPCs,
which
yeah.
point, we're just gonna slowly get angrier
Yeah.
over time.
I don't know what to tell you, but like that's just a gnome special.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens when
I'm
you.
not a good role player, but I'm gonna give
sorry,
you some,
sir,
I'm
I
gonna
ordered the
serve you
number
some
3.
NPCs.
Yeah, this is
No,
what happens
I'm
when you
good.
don't
Let's
play
go.
Tales from the Loop. Is Gnome kills your friends. So. This is episode 1. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hitting that corruption bar twice. Thank you for all the subs and the gift subs and all that good stuff. We're going to do our introductions. We're going to get the hell out of here. Do our after show for the patrons. If you want to see that after show, join us on Patreon. Link down below. If you want to discuss this game and be part of the conversation, join us in the Discord. Link for that down below. Let's do our introductions. Get the hell out of here. We'll start with some new faces. Noir, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Noir Enigma. You can find me on all the socials as Noir Enigma. That's going to be your Instagram, Twitter, and SoundCloud, because I do music stuff too. It's a good time. You can find me on Chromatic Chimera on Sundays. I'm doing Clockwork Vines, which is a Call of Cthulhu game where we're finding an eldritch chipmunk. It's a good time. On Mondays, we're off right now, but we will be returning Dr. RPG, where we answer all of your characters' questions in character. So it's like a Dr. Ruth show for all your TTRPG characters. On Wednesdays, you can catch me over at Last HP Hero, where we're doing the Curse of Strahd game, where I'm playing a barbarian that has adopted a child and a puppy, and I need to find which class gives the best 401k to multi-class into. So that is essentially me. This was a blast, y'all.
Hell yeah. And if your name is Nomadic, you can catch those hands. Another new face on the stream, Sombrero. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hey y'all, my name is actually Juan Carlos, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram only because that's all I really do, and it's basically just Twitter anyways, so forget about Instagram. I play a long-term fantasy campaign with, I'm sure everybody knows, Eris Savad. We play siblings on Open for Adventure on Sundays. And let's see, what else? I do this. And Gnome and I are actually going to be playing together on Open for Adventure as well. We're on August 4th. We will be premiering my homebrew campaign. Yup. we switched. We traded places. Playing Modern Gods Inheritance. It's a new setting made by me, and I'm excited to see Gnome play the character that he's playing. So come catch us on August 4th. I also help produce a podcast called the Roleplay Cafe, where two ladies interview cool people from the RPG community, and then pop quiz on stuff that we know they know nothing about. It sucks for the guests, but it's fun for us. So come laugh with us, and that's all I got.
I think that's the theme of my new show. It sucks for the guests, but it's fun for us. It's my new tagline. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, feel free to use that one.
Yeah,
That's all yours,
great.
man.
Yeah. Let's jump over to a familiar face. John, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hey, so I'm John. You can find me at Rymasa RY0MASA on Twitter. It's the only social I really have, because I don't have the attention span for more than one. But you can find me, I guess, here on this show. It's actually the only show I have. A couple other shows fell through for this season due to a couple of reasons. So I'm taking a break a little bit from the streaming scene as much as I can, taking a step back, because we're in the middle of a pandemic and everything's on fire, and sometimes you just need to stop for a minute.
Yep.
But yeah, you can find me here on Thursdays for Entanglement. You can also find me on Saturdays from 4 to 7 p.m. EST, where my buddy Josh and I make up Thick Notes, which is our, like, thick dudes POC music stream, where we rewrite folk songs and sea shanties. Or at this point, since we are currently refiguring out the rest of our channel, given certain things in the tabletop industry that I'm not going to get into here, we are currently playing A Way Out together. So if you want to see two thick POC boys live up to their power fantasy of being, consequence-free middle-aged white dudes, that's where we're at. So come check it out on Thicknote, ThickCCNOTEZ on Twitch and Twitter.
As a middle-aged white boy, I feel attacked by this show.
Look, all I want is to be judged for my actions and not for my race.
That's
okay?
fair. As the aforementioned middle-aged white guy, I get it. I can't fault you for it.
But also, we're playing two, mobsters in, the 1980s who have the weirdest, definitely... It's like someone took a pot shot at a Brooklyn, Irish, New York accent and then missed,
Perfect.
and then said, fuck it, and kept going. It's a very good game. They do Way Out does really cool things with co-op. It's a game that you can't play without two players. It is intended for co-op only story play, and they do some really cool stuff. I would check it out.
That's dope. I'd love to. And last but today least, Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I totally spaced out. What?
That's fine.
Cool.
Who are you?
I'm Gnome. I'm here. You can find me. I don't know, what am I doing? Sombrero, already talked about.
Breaking our hearts.
Yeah. Honestly, there's really not much to say. You can just find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at unMadeGaming. I do a lot of stuff. I'm all over the place. My schedule's there. It's late. And I've got some more NPCs to figure out how to kill because they gave me NPCs to kill. So.
I don't like that.
I didn't give you no NPCs.
I didn't know that's what the pop quiz was for.
Because I didn't want to fall in love.
I would have failed it. I wouldn't have turned in my no work last night if I knew this was going to happen.
Hey, not everybody has to die.
Yeah, there's way worse things than death. Whoops, did I say that out loud?
See,
we learned that from Dot.
When we started the show, everyone was like, Mike, how come you didn't do the homework that Gnome gave you? And now, get wrecked. So
don't worry. You don't do the homework, I'm going to make homework.
That's fine. I'm not attached to them.
I get attached so easy.
So, this
You're over here like, I love them! No!
Oh, her name is Daisy? I love her, and that she is mine forever, and I'll pet her and name her George.
You mean like the
Um,
power?
It was her first trip off-world.
Thank you all so much for making this episode amazing. We're going to get out of here, do the after show. We'll catch you on the Patreon world and in our Discord. So from all of us to you guys, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm fucking traumatized.